Hello everyone. In this problem, the relationship between the number of pennies and nickels someone has is given, and then we are to determine those numbers. First, let's define some letters to represent these two quantities. We'll choose P to represent the number of pennies and N to represent the number of nickels. Then we will go over the problem, read it carefully to understand, and then translate the sentences to mathematical expressions and set up equations. The first sentence says that the sum of the values of pennies and nickels that someone has is worth $3.02. Recall that 1 penny is worth 1 cent or $0.01 and 1 nickel is worth 5 cents or $0.05. Therefore, the values of pennies equals to the value of 1 penny, which is $0.01, multiplied by the quantity of the pennies, which is represented by P. So the total value of pennies is equal to 0.01 P. Similarly, the value of nickels is equal to the value of 1 nickel, which is 5 cents or $0.05, multiplied by the number of nickels that this someone has. Therefore, the total value of nickels will be 0.05 N. We know that the sum of these two values must be $3.02, so we can set up the first equation. In the second sentence, we have the number of nickels is 3 more than 8 times the number of pennies. We know that the number of nickels is represented by N, so we're going to use N here to represent the number. Is translated to equal, and 3 more is translated to 3 plus. Finally, 8 times means 8 multiplied by the number of pennies. Number of pennies is represented by P. So we have set up our second equation, which is N equal to 3 plus 8P. We can rearrange it, put it in the standard form, and we'll get negative 8P plus N equals 3. This is our second equation. Next, we use these two equations to set up a system, and then we solve for the variables. There are different methods to solve a system like this. We choose substitution method because it appears to be the easier method. Before we get into solving the system, it'd be convenient to change the numerical coefficients of the first equation to integers as opposed to decimal numbers. So we will multiply the first equation by 100 to eliminate decimals. 0.01 times 100 will be 1, 0.05 times 100 will be 5, and 3.02 multiplied by 100 will be 302. Now, we rearrange the first equation and isolate P. That's the first step for substitution method. Now that we have the value of P in terms of the other variable, we substitute the first equation into the second equation. Note that the expression inside the bracket is equivalent to P from the first equation. By substituting the first equation into the second equation, we've reduced the number of equations to 1, and at the same time reduced the number of variables to 1. This is a linear equation with one variable, and then we can solve it easily. First, we need to distribute the negative 8 into the terms inside the bracket. So negative 8 is multiplied by 302, and also 8 is multiplied by 5n, and then we'll get negative 2,416 and 40n for the products of these two terms. Next, we group the n terms and the constant on different side of the equality, and then we combine the like terms. On the left-hand side, we'll get 41n, and the right-hand side, we get 2,419. Finally, we divide both sides by 41 to get the number of nickels to be 59. Once we've determined the number of nickels, we can substitute the number into the first equation and find the number of pennies. So our first equation will be P equals to 302 minus 5 times 59. We multiply negative 5 by 59 and we'll get P equals to 302 minus 295. We find the difference and we'll get P to be equal to 7. This person has 7 pennies and 59 nickels. Thanks for watching.